here today to talk to you about investment, funding and support opportunities for startup here in Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly. So I'll start by introducing our panel. So my name is Kirsty Miles-Musgrave and I am the Investment Operations Manager, get my own job title right, from the Growth Hub. Joined by Nigel Jones, Eagle Lab Manager from Barclays, Anna Stevska, Investment Manager at the FSE Group, and finally, Andrew Finlay, Commercial Director at Oxford Innovation Advice. So we're here today to talk to you about the opportunities available through our own organisations. However, I'm going to start by asking the panel to give us their top tip for startups around investment and funding. So Andrew, I'll kick off with you if that's okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. What a great event. I'd just like to say that, so congratulations to everybody who's put this together. I was really struck with some of the things that Tim said, so be like Tim. There was some really good advice there. One thing I wanted to talk about is we see a lot of early stage companies coming through to us looking for help on raising their seed investment. And one of the things that keeps causing problems is sweat equity. So think really hard about sweat equity. It's very easy because in early days, you're strapped for cash. Everybody's constantly strapped for cash. And you'll have friends, colleagues, acquaintances who may want to build your website, do some PR for you. And it's very easy to come to a deal and say, yeah, well, I'll give you some sweat equity in my business. Think about what Tim was saying earlier. Think about what your business could be worth one day. And if you give away 10% or 5% or 2% now, that could be an awful lot of money down the track. So at all times, try not to go for sweat equity. Keep as much equity as you can. Find a way of buying it. And be creative in the deals you do. I mean, in my own case, when I was raising VC money, if I needed help from people, then I'd give them an enhanced payment down the line on a success basis. So sweat equity, be careful.
Thanks, Andrew. Anna, what's your top tip?
Well, I would like also to say that Tim's top tips, he literally stole all my ideas. So I had to think very creatively of a new one. I would say something about what I observe a lot at board meetings, at different boards that I sit on, and it's kind of this value-added element when you seek investment. So in the early stages, of course, when you need money and there is somebody waving a checkbook in front of your face and saying, yes, I have the money, really try, I know it's difficult, but try to look beyond that element. Try to see if you can actually work with that person. Is their vision the same as your vision for the business? Are they going to turn up when you need their help? Are they going to offer anything beyond the monetary value? So any connections or any knowledge or even being supportive in terms of your business. So my top tip is look for the value-added element, not just the financial gain.
Excellent. Thanks, Anna. Nigel, a top tip from you.
Well, interestingly, just following on from that one, I was also going to make the point that there are some investors who are literally that. They are investors, and it is money that they wish to part with, whether it's under SEIS schemes or to do with relating to their tax position, and therefore they may not be prepared to give you any support whatsoever outside of money. So also be aware of that and look to see what you're looking for. And the other one is just to be realistic. Love it or hate it, Dragon's Den does give a clue. The point where they get most frustrated is when the people on there are making unrealistic valuations of their own company or its potential. To just make sure whatever you're saying, you can back it up.
Excellent, thank you. And just for me, on a sort of slightly broader business support point, my top tip would be talk to independent people. Talk to lots and lots of independent people. Do not listen to friends and family. They will not want to hurt your feelings. They will want to tell you what you want to hear. So look for independent advice and guidance. Of course, I would say that because I work for the Growth Hub. But just make sure that you look beyond your sphere of influence and your family and friends to get support and advice in terms of your startup. So that was our little top tip. Now it's a little sales pitch from all of us to talk about what our organisations can do for you in terms of startup. So I'm going to start with you, Nigel. Can you tell us a bit more about Eagle Labs?
Yeah, I can. So Eagle Lab's been going since 2015. Originally, we're supporting startups. We were co-working spaces before there were co-working spaces, and we did 3D printing and prototyping and all that sort of thing back then. Now you can do that with virtual reality. You don't need so much 3D printing to see what your product is going to look like. And goodness knows how many places are doing co-working now. So we now tend to go into partnership. We now move into co-working spaces, and we provide the business support within those areas and within the wider ecosystem. So by business support, it's free mentoring and coaching programs. It's also funding readiness programs, accelerators. We'll run a series of events wherever we are, and all of those will relate to supporting startup and scale-up businesses. And within the ecosystem, we'll link up with people like the Growth Hubs, with FSE, with the local council, with the local enterprise partnership, and so on.
Okay, and if they wanted to get in touch with you, Nigel, how would they do that?
Oh, sorry, yeah. labs.uk.barclays is probably the easiest place to look. That will give you all the information on everything we do. labs.uk.barclays.
Fantastic, thank you. Anna, can you tell us a little bit more about the opportunities through FSE Group?
So I work for the FSC Group, and regionally we have two types of products. So the first one is equity investment. So what you see on Dragon's Den, basically that's what we do. And the second product is debt finance. And just to give you an idea of the numbers we're talking about here, on the equity side, our investments are in the region between 100,000 up to 5 million. And on the debt side, similar figures from 100,000 to 2 million. Currently, we have two funds, active funds, originally. The first one is Cornwall of Scilly Investment Fund. And as the name suggests, it basically covers Cornwall of Scilly. And the second one, which just launched probably a month ago, is the Southwest Investment Fund, which has a much wider regional focus. So basically covers the counties beyond Cornwall, around the Southwest. And to find out more, my colleague is upstairs. We have a stand, so you can grab a business card or a little leaflet, or you can have a chat if you're interested in investment.
Thanks. Yeah, Brent's up there. He could probably is he around? Can he give us a little wave? No, he's probably just talking to a potential investor right now. So hopefully that's being really useful. So Andrew, can you tell us a little bit more about Oxford Innovation Advice and what's on offer at the moment?
Yes, thanks very much. So Oxford Innovation Advice is part of Oxford Innovation Services. We're the UK's largest business support organisation. We also run 35 innovation centres across the UK with about 1,000 tenants. These are early stage companies who we're trying to accelerate through to raising money and then moving on. In Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly specifically, for the last 6 years we've been running an access to finance programme. That was designed to work with companies of all sizes, from pre-starts to existing companies. We can help you with anything from startup loans of £10,000 up to the other end of the spectrum. We had a client who raised 50 million of VC money. It doesn't matter what you need. If you feel that you're struggling with numbers, we can help you through your first financial forecast. You'll do a 2-day workshop. You'll come out of that with a 2-year business plan, with a cash flow forecast and a P&L. We have, alongside that, business coaches who can help you with strategy. In Cornwall and Isles of Scilly, this is fully funded, so it won't actually cost you anything. And indeed, as well as sort of specifics around finance, we've got people with sectoral experience. So whether you're a CIC or whether you're in a tech arena or agriculture, there'll be people who can help you. If you want to get in touch with us, speak to Kirsty's team at the Growth Hub. If you want to find out a little bit more about us, look at oxfordinnovationadvice.co.uk. You'll find me on LinkedIn, and we'd be very happy to have a chat with you. I'll be upstairs after this.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody, for that. Just also wanted to give a little shout out to Susie upstairs on the Create Growth stand. So another options for investors. If you've got a creative business and you're looking for investment, please go speak to Susie. She's up there, happy to talk to creative businesses. So finally, just in terms of what the Growth Hub is doing, obviously Andrew mentioned that Access to Finance Plus is hopefully launching in the next couple of weeks, fingers crossed. And that is a business support offer available through the Growth Hub. So we are a publicly funded business support organisation. We've been live for about 7 years. We were previously funded under the European programme, and now we are funded through the Good Growth programme, which is the Shared Prosperity Fund version in Cornwall. So we talk to businesses, we understand what their opportunities and their challenges are, and then we go and do the legwork to find the right support, funding and training to help you bring your growth ambitions to fruition. So the slight difference we have this time around with Shared Prosperity Fund is that we actually have a £10 million grant scheme. I can hear ears pricking up all around the room. That launched about 6 weeks ago. So that is match funding for business investment plans. So we have 3 work streams under that £10 million fund. We have £3 million of business growth funding. So that's sort of general activity around business growth. We have £5 million of RD&I funding. So if you've got a research, development and innovation project from concept all the way through to commercialisation, there might be an opportunity for funding there. And then finally, about to launch in the next few weeks is £2 million of net zero funding. So if you're looking to develop environmental sustainability products and things like that, then you can come and talk to us about those 3 options for funding. And then in addition to the business finance option through Oxford Innovation Advice, we're also launching a research, development and innovation project, which can wrap around the grant and actually help people to develop their products and services, look at innovation ideas, and that will be launching very soon. We also have some net zero support funding, support as well to wrap around the net zero grant funding, and that's looking at predominantly decarbonisation ideas, but there's also some business support around that and also some inclusion support around that as well. So I think that's, we've got 3 minutes. I wonder if I could ask you another quick question. So very quickly, what's the biggest pitfall you think in startup funding, Andrew?
Wow.
I've surprised them with this.
Yes, it has, yes. So, biggest pitfall. I think I'd just like to pick up on the point that Kirsty made earlier on, and that is, the validation of your idea. Spend a lot of time talking to people who have no vested interest in you to get an honest appraisal. I draw a parallel as when, some time ago now, but I remember as becoming a father for the first time, and of course you show your newborn to your friends and family and they think it's beautiful because nobody's going to tell you it's ugly. It's very much the same with your business idea. So talk to people who have no axe to grind. They will give you an honest appraisal. And just pitch your ideas to potential customers. Talk to them, say, would you buy this? It doesn't necessarily mean they will, but you'll very quickly get some feedback. And don't be afraid to turn away from it. If you're getting negative feedback, just accept it's not right at the moment. Go away, do something else. As one of the previous speakers said, the pathway with startup development is all about failure. You're going to fail and fail and fail and fail. Doesn't mean to say that ultimately you're not going to get there.
Excellent, thank you. Does anybody else want to volunteer a little pitfall of startup?
Well, I think the biggest difficulty actually is knowing where the funding is. We recently ran an event, and Innovate UK I forgot to mention earlier, but that's another one. And you've got the carbon one in Cornwall, but actually if you were to look further at other places in the southwest, different counties are doing it in different ways, and trying to find out where the various grants are and where the funds are as an individual business is really, really difficult, and as an individual person even more so. Between us, we can help with finding out where it is and letting you know where it is, and that's why we all need to work together to make sure that if you were to come to any one of us, we can point you in the correct direction and sort of bring things together for you. I think that's helpful, if anything.
Excellent, thank you. And Anna, sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
It's okay. For me, I like when founders are enthusiastic and they really believe their ideas, but I also find a little bit frustrating when there is no degree of realism behind the idea. So we already mentioned evaluations, and going to a meeting with a potential investor, be prepared. You don't have to be pitch perfect, be yourself, but be also realistic. Just to give you an idea, I recently spoke to a potential investee company. There was no company, it was an idea. And the person wanted £1 million investment. So straight away, from an investment point of view, we would dismiss him in the future. So, as I said, don't lose that degree of realism. Be enthusiastic, be prepared to, challenge stereotypes, but the degree of realism and coming with realistic valuations is super important as well.
Excellent. Thanks ever so much. So in the last 12 seconds, I'm just going to say that we also have a stand up there. My colleague Keris and I are ready to talk to people about the Growth Hub and the opportunities through ourselves. You don't have to understand what the landscape looks like because we can help you do that. So please do come along and talk to us. We've got some leaflets for you to take away. So it just, I'm surprised there wasn't a buzzer. I thought there might be coming to pull us off. But just wanted to say thank you to Andrew, to Anna, to Nigel, and to everybody here for coming today. It's lovely to see you all in Cornwall and celebrating Startup in Cornwall. So thank you very much.